Hey, this is Boomer. Um, it's a little after midnight, so now it's the 19th of June, and I've been down in Kissimmee, Florida for the last 8 days or so. I've got 2 days left. We're coming home Saturday, and of course the World Cup is going, and there's the Disney people here, and there are so many people that we're meeting. You know how I like to meet people, and I've posted some pictures, but I mean, just it's been a great time. We went on the beach, drove on the beach at Daytona one day, and we didn't stay too long because we don't have a good tan. We don't want to get too burnt, our Scotch and Irish and skin. But we had a great time, been in the pool. But the biggest fun I'm having is just sitting in the lobby watching the World Cup games because there's Colombians and Argentinians and Haitians and Scotch people and Germans and Dutch and they're all here on vacation, and some of them are making a World Cup thing about it. There's some Brazilians that are heading down to Miami for the game on the 29th against Scotland, and my friend Craig. Geez, I wish I had enough money to get them two field passes and a booth at the game in Miami. I sure love to treat them to that, but they're having a great time. They're here 2 weeks already, and we met them 23 years ago in the Ponderosa in Orlando by the International Drive, and he had a tattoo on his arm that said, "I will never bow to an English king." So being Scottish, I knew exactly what that meant. So I said, "Are you from Scotland?" And he said, "Yeah." He had the Scottish accent. So we befriended him, his wife Hazel, and their little daughter Lauren. She was about 2 at the time. We had Stephen and Kyle, and they were probably 8 and 7, 23 years, maybe 11 and 10. So we had the van, and there was an extra seat for them in the back there, and we took them around, and we went to Walmart, and I had Busch Garden tickets and SeaWorld tickets because I was working for Anheuser-Busch at the time, and they were giving us 12 free tickets a year. And I would trade beer for tickets to people that weren't going to the parks, because I didn't drink, and we got 2 cases a month for free. So I would trade the beer for the tickets. So I might have 24 tickets, and I'd see some people and say, "Hey, you want to go here? Want to go there?" Try to be a good guy. So I had given them tickets to SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, or one or the other. I think they ended up going to Busch Gardens at that time, and we were already gone. And they found me on Facebook. His name is Craig Milligan. Look him up on Facebook. He's a wonderful guy. He goes by Milligan Craig, and his wife Hazel. So I get an email saying, "Hey, we're going to come to America for a whole month, June 4th to maybe July 2nd. 28 days. Oh, wonderful, wonderful." So I said to Tammy, "We got to go down there. Let's go see them." So we were going to come last Thursday, but I was getting antsy, so I said, "Let's go Wednesday. Maybe we'll drive halfway and stop and get a room." And of course, when you do that, it's like, we're only 3 hours. We're only 2 hours away. Let's just drive through. Hopefully they got a room for us. So we got to the hotel, and sure enough, they had a room, and we got the same room that we had booked. And it was like a disability room with a walk-in shower. So with my neuropathy, I've been really suffering. I'm trying. I'm being good with my sugar, but I'm suffering. My legs are killing me. I couldn't do the parks. I would have loved to take Tammy to Universal or something. And so, no parks. But we're having a good time. So, I guess the moral of the story is just, be an outgoing guy like me. Say hello to everybody. I say habla español un poquito. I speak Spanish a little bit, enough to get by a little bit with asking names and giving compliments and things like that. I'm not fluent by any means, but there's so many Hispanic people, Brazil and Panama and Guatemala and Mexico. We just watched the Mexico game, and me and Tammy went and bought some pretzels and a dozen Dunkin' Donuts, and we had like a banana nut loaf cake there and some cupcakes. The kids were all grabbing cupcakes, so we had a little party. And last night we had a little party with the Colombian people watching Colombia, and Colombia won, and today Mexico won, and hopefully tomorrow USA will win, and today, it's after midnight, and 3 o'clock the USA will beat Australia, and at 6 o'clock, God willing, Scotland will beat Morocco. It's gonna be a tough game, but if they win, they're at the top of the group. They're at the top of the group right now, and my friend Craig is in his glory. And like I said, geez, I wish I had $100,000. I would have sent him up to Foxborough, and I'm sure everybody has seen how the Scotch people have taken over Boston, and just been pleasure to everyone, and playing their bagpipes and enjoying life and going to Fenway Park and donating $12,000 to a children's hospital and something else. And come to find out, one person that came over passed away, 76-year-old man. He probably went to the game, and he probably went to the Red Sox game, and then he passed away. So, he went out on a good note, and I think they're raising money for him to get back to Scotland for the funeral or something like that. But they call it the Tartan Army, and my friend Craig calls it Stevie Clark's Tartan Army. He's the coach now for Scotland, and since he's been the coach, I think they've really improved. He must be some hell of a coach, because this is the first time they've been in the World Cup in like 26 years or 28 years, whatever it is. So he's having a great time, and I'm having a great time, and just so many good people. And I got 3 Pakistani friends, and one guy's married to a Moroccan. And he told Craig he's rooting for Scotland, but don't tell his wife. He'd never get any again. He'll never, she'll stay away from him if he roots for Scotland. But he said, I'm deep down rooting for you, buddy. And they were bringing special Pakistani tea bags and making this tea with the hot milk, and it's like frothy. Oh, it's delicious. And every time he comes over, it's like, hey, you want a cup of tea? Really? Yeah, come on. He goes, makes you a cup of tea. And they were bringing, one day they brought cupcakes or something, So we just wanted to pay them back because they've been so good to us. And people that think, Islamic people, oh, they're terrorists, they're terrible, they're bad people, Great guys, unbelievable. Iftikhar, he called himself Jay. We met him today. What's the other guy's name, Tim? Do you know? The third guy? I can't remember his name, but what a great guy. He owns the store right here in the lobby. So when you come into the lobby, he's got a store right there. He does 4-hour split shifts, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night when the people are going to the parks and when they're coming home from the parks, And then he sits on the chair and watches the games with us, but he could just look into the store to see if anybody's going in there. So he can run in there and say, hey, you need anything? Just great guys, So Jamil is the second guy. Jay, he likes to be called Jay, but he said, oh, you'll never remember our name. Jamil. And I said, I remember. I'm terrible with names, but I'm going to remember your name, And then after a while, I said, Tammy, what's his name? And she said, Jamil. I said, okay. And then like 10 minutes later, he'd say, so what's my name? If you didn't forget, I said, oh, Jamil. Thank you, Tammy. I'm terrible with names. 20 years from now, I could see the guy in a Walmart and go, hey, Jay, how you doing? Maybe Jay, or I know you from somewhere. But such is life. I'm having a good time. 66 years old. Not for nothing, but I got cancer at 40, and I really didn't think I'd be here right now. So I'm living every day to the fullest if I can, And for anybody out there that's a cancer survivor, prayers for you. Once you get it, you're always afraid you're going to get it back or something, So I had it when I was 40, so 66 now. So I made 26 years, all right? Cancer-free for the last 24 maybe. So the Carney curse, Cancer Alley. But having a great time. I love you all. Enjoy the Scotland victory. To all my Scottish friends at the Scots Club in Carney. The Tartan Army, baby. Love you guys. I love you, and I'm praying for Scotland so much. Say hello to Patterson Street and my aunt on 58 Patterson Street. She's Aunt Peggy. Just love her to death. And I'll bet you my cousin Andrew will be down there at the Scots Club, and maybe John will be down there. So if you're in Carney, stop by the Scots Club, and I'll bet you'll have the best time of your life. So have a good night. We'll check in tomorrow with the score of the Scotland game, all right? And the USA game. Good night.